I'm Curtis Burdette, Vice President of Energy Capital Economic Development. Today we're getting together to talk about innovation. There are a group of us who, since COVID-19, have been connecting and trying to find ways to think about how to think about entrepreneurship, our businesses, business ideas from that very beginning to the business that's just about to launch, the small business owners, those with established practice as well as the new ideas, inventors like we find here at Area 59, which is a makerspace, as well as all those in the field, the inventions that ranchers have, what we see with our coal workers and machine operators. We have an incredible amount of talent in this community. And we want to get together to just share some of the experiences that we have, and we're, as a group, figuring out ways to strengthen that part of the community where we can connect innovation with all aspects of what that looks like and where that helps take us. We all have ideas. We don't always tell somebody about it, and you might not want to build a business off your idea, but maybe somebody else does. And you can help them. We're just trying to figure something out, and just sharing those things can help get us to where we're going. So I have a couple people with us today who have similar stories of things that they have done, businesses that they've helped succeed in, inventions and ideas and different tries that they've put together on things. And so to my left, Brian, would you introduce yourself?
Thank you. I'm Brian Worthen from Visionary Broadband, and we've been in the Gillette area since 1994, offering internet service and evolving through that time to be a very field-oriented installation, fiber, wireless, all types of broadband type company. And so we've pivoted 5, 6, 7 times now and learned to adapt in an ever-changing environment.
Fantastic, indeed.
Thanks. I'm Dana Miller Eiland with SignBoss. We're in our 9th year, almost 10-year anniversary now, and we focus on visual communication and marketing for local businesses, and we've expanded, traveling a lot throughout Wyoming now. And I have a unique job where people come to me who are first starting their business, looking for a sign, looking for marketing materials, and so I'm seeing innovation and new products all the time. So I'm really looking forward to working with more entrepreneurs and inventors in our community and getting them and their products to commercialization, hopefully right here in Gillette.
Excellent, thank you, Dana. So when we think about innovation, we think about those innovation is just a new idea. It's maybe a new product, a new service. It's just a new way of thinking about things. And so we want to talk a little bit about the spirit of innovation in Gillette and the new ideas and ideas that businesses have tried, ideas that have failed and what's been learned from it. And so Brian, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with innovation?
Well, I actually probably have more experience with failure. We've started some parts of our company and they just never got off the ground. So for every bit of success we've had 3 failures. And what's most interesting about that is learning to get past that, adapt to that, and be willing to change, to embrace that. So when I think about innovation, I actually think about getting together with my counterparts in the industry and at our office, and we talk about best practices and we talk about our failures and what we can learn from those. So I actually expand the definition of innovation to include a number of things that we can learn from.
And is there an example of failure of something that you've tried that didn't work, that you learned even more because it didn't work?
Yeah, we actually thought we would be able to expand out into Montana and Colorado and some other places in retail. And we did that at a time when Gillette had really low unemployment. And it was a challenge to hire personnel. And so we couldn't even get employees in the door to support a retail operation to help us from an administrative standpoint. And so we actually changed our tact and wholesaled. So we'd already developed a website, we'd already developed a pricing plan, we'd already developed some contracts and we were rip-raring to go. And ultimately, we flipped it on its head and said, we're going to wholesale, which means we don't have to have administrative staff. We don't have to try to hire in a very difficult environment at the time. And it was beneficial. It helped grow our business. We got the buying power we wanted from it. We were able to drive down our costs network-wide. And it was a great strategy, but it was a last-minute decision because of the lack of ability to hire at the time.
It's very interesting. And Dana, you mentioned you get to be one of the first people that our entrepreneurs, our inventors, go to for business cards, for marketing materials at your company. Tell us a little bit about how that's affected you and about how your innovation history.
I see lots of people coming in with great ideas, and a lot of them are trying to do this by themselves. And you'll see people start up businesses and then they'll go out of business or they won't make it. And the history with small businesses or startups is not good. I don't know what the recent trends are, but I see the passion and I see people wanting to make a change in their own life and go forward with their ideas and their dreams, but they don't reach out and they don't know the resources that are out there. So I have a whole countertop of resources of Area 59 and in the chamber and the small business development and all kinds of things, that there are so many people in our community wanting to diversify our community and have new businesses here locally. So for me, it's exciting. I know there's a lot of people out there, and we just need to get them together and network and really offer all the resources that can make them successful.
So Curtis, I think two things Dana said that are interesting is in her business, she runs into a lot of entrepreneurs that are just starting because of the nature of her business. And I think that's one of the reasons we're sitting here today is she knows there's this group of people out there that need attention, need assistance, need encouragement. And then the other thing that was interesting is she mentioned people wanting to do it on their own. And I think that's because as people, we have a tendency to not want to fail. And we don't want to fail in a group or where it's publicly visible. And that keeps us from progressing. And in this environment, I talked about unemployment and our challenges prior. Now, with our ability to hire or our ability to spend time developing product or developing a business, we actually need to be more supportive of those around us and get them over their fears of going forward with a business.
Have you ever heard the acronym for FAIL? First attempt in learning. I love it. I just think that just says exactly what you were talking about, that until you fail, you haven't learned what's going to be successful. So.
And two of the places that we want to talk about, some of those places that exist to have a safe place to fail. This being one of them, Area 59, a makerspace, lots of equipment, lots of things to learn about. And then Fuel in the Enterprise Center with the Energy Capital Economic Development. Fuel is a business incubator. It stands for Fostering Upstanding Entrepreneurial Leaders. And at that facility, there are offices to rent for in-house members, and then offices to come in during business hours for our outreach members. And Brian has been affiliated with Fuel. Can you tell us a little bit about Fuel and what that means to the community?
Yeah, Fuel is an offshoot of the economic development here in Gillette, and the group formed to provide a forum and a location for entrepreneurs to meet and actually be in the presence of other entrepreneurs. So that they can talk about their experiences, challenges. But what's interesting too is, as part of the Fuel Steering Committee that I was involved with, a mentorship program was put into place. And so there's actually a list of mentors of people, of business folks in Gillette that are willing to help an entrepreneur through learning a profit and loss sheet, learning a balance sheet, how to select an accountant. Those things that we often don't think about in business, until we need them. And so the fuel environment is a location where entrepreneurs can gather and talk to other entrepreneurs, talk to mentors, talk to economic development, and basically feel comfortable with expanding on their idea.
It is, and fostering upstanding entrepreneurial leaders, what the acronym for FUEL, really connects well with this community. We have elected officials, we have community leaders, business leaders. We have so many people who want to help individuals and want to help businesses. And what are businesses? But they're people. They're the people who run the businesses. They're the people who work at the businesses. And so one of the great things with FUEL is that connection, that place where that's really focused on that business from that first idea to getting ready to launch, and then once it's launched, and helping that continue to grow and be supported and see some of those other things. Now, Dana, you get to see a lot of those folks as they evolve through your business and through your work with economic development. What things have you seen here in Campbell County?
I think people don't give our community enough credit. They come in and they have a great product or they have a great service that they want to move forward with, but they may not be great at marketing and sales. So they'll go to all this effort and they'll open a storefront and they'll put up a sign, and then they wonder why people don't come in. What I really see is, and I'm pivoting myself to help with this, is website design. People just don't understand the power of Google and Facebook, social media, of how you can get that out to your business. So just by having a Facebook page doesn't necessarily get you people in your door. And so we are really working with every customer that comes in to make sure they have that presence. And now more than ever, when everything's kind of gone online, you need to have an online presence. And so I think when people think, I live in Gillette, Wyoming, I don't need it, but that was for my business, my number one referral was from Google searches.
I think we'll continue seeing more of that. I think obviously that has grown a lot, the Google searches, the Facebook. We've seen a lot of businesses here in Gillette and in Campbell County that have found new ways to connect to their customers who are selling products online that never did before. We've seen more Facebook Lives. We've seen that marketing piece as businesses have to evolve. Our young business leaders and our older business leaders, we've all had to figure out new ways of connecting, new ways of doing that, and that's part of what we want to do with this group, is to help create that collaboration that already exists. We have so many wonderful people here in our community who want to help each other, and we want to just help highlight some of the places for that. And Area 59 represents another place for our inventors, those who have a product or something they just want to make, a physical thing, as well as the makers, those who want to kind of play with the different equipment, try to make a different shape. And we have those, as I mentioned, in every industry, in all the different places. You had to just change something a little bit to get it to fit. And here there's some tools that you can learn to use. And we want to talk a little bit about that. And Dana, you brought some props. Can you show us what you brought here, what you've made?
So part of innovation is finding a problem. If there's a problem and knowing that it can be improved and that there's a customer willing to buy it is part of it. Being in the coal industry, I was asked to create some unit numbers for haul trucks out of the coal mine. And one of the issues out of the coal mines, coal is black and it's very hard to light a pit. The light just is absorbed into the coal, and so at night it's very difficult to see. And so this material is a high visibility reflective material that you see a lot. And they asked me to individually cut the unit numbers so they could put these on the trucks. Well, we had some equipment and we were using our equipment, which was really, this is very rigid, very difficult, it's got adhesive, it was hard on our equipment. And then when Area 59 opened, we said, why don't we try using some of their equipment? And so we did a few tests and learned, and now not only does it look better, it saves us time, it seals these edges, which is nice. I mean, it's a much better product than what we were doing. And by having, I think one of the other misconceptions about Area 59 is it's just for the college, and it's not. It's for anyone in our community or even outside of our community can come and use this makerspace to identify new products that they can make in their business and sell. So whether or not I decide that this is big enough that I will buy my own equipment, I'm kind of working through that right now. But until then, I can basically walk across the street and use the equipment here. And then there was another product that we did. We're just also playing with the equipment to see what we can do. We have a core value award that goes to the person in our business that is the best team player that demonstrates the core values. And so it's a multi-layer, it's got some etching, it's contour cut, multi-layers, and it's just a really sharp little plaque or award for that person to display on their desk. So lots of neat things you can make here.
And so this whole product was completed using the tools here at Area 59.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I used from my company was the green vinyl that I attached to it. So all of it was made here. Yep.
That's very exciting. And it's another opportunity. It's a place to make connections, a place to with your business or with individuals to be able to find new ways of doing something, creating an award. Now it's not just something bought off a shelf. It's something that really connects to the company's core values. And for individuals, for businesses, there's a lot of opportunity to try different things with the equipment that already exists here. Brian, what can you tell us about how you got here and how someone else can figure their way through their ideas to help? You mentioned failure earlier. To help overcome that, businesses and inventors have to persevere through a lot of failure. What would you tell someone else as far as how to get their idea to that next place?
Yeah, the best thing I could say is just to keep doing it. We all, like I said, we all have a tendency to have a hiccup or encounter a roadblock, and we retreat and we lick our wounds, so to speak. And that's okay, it's understandable. But there's so many times in our business where we've encountered a challenge or a brick wall, and we just had to find a way around it, over the top of it. And I see a number of businesses around Gillette, to Dana's point, that do that. They just do. They're roll up your sleeves, blue collar. This is how we were raised. In fact, I tell people in our industry that I've got people on staff that say, "All right, let's do it." They don't say, "We've never done that before," or "I don't know how to do that." There's so many times we've just embraced a new technology, a new method. In fact, in our business, we've realized that we've been really reliant on other communications providers in the past. And so in the last 3 years, we've gone from 3 service vehicles in the field to 35. And that's a big transformation for our business. But there's some risk associated with that. There's some borrowing associated with that. And those are all things you have to factor in and try to overcome. Because you mentioned this earlier, there's somebody out there that has a great idea, right? And we're talking about Area 59. There's somebody that's been in the oil field or been in the gas field that has a great idea for a tool or some sort of attachment that's going to make this product better that they were using every day. And that person might not want to run with their idea, but they have a friend or a counterpart or someone that's willing to invest, or maybe there's someone that's willing to help them turn that into a business or take it on as a business. So being in business is being able to adapt and willing to adapt. And sometimes it's some soul searching and saying, do I want to go down this path? Am I really more than an inventor, or am I, and there's other guys that say, I have a tough time inventing, I just want to be in business, right? And the goal is to marry those up. The goal is to get those folks together. And I think that's why we're here today.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely, and Dana, the same question. What do you, your thoughts on innovation and what somebody else can do to bring their idea forward?
Really not keeping it to yourself. I think reaching out is the number one thing. There are so many resources, especially for products. We have Manufacturing Works, we have Small Business Development Center, the University of Wyoming. The University of Wyoming has ideas, just need someone to take them and run. So if you just want to start your own business, but you don't have an idea, come talk to us. There's ideas and there's people we can partner you with. No one can do it alone, I think, is the number one thing. That you might be a good marketing person, or you might be a good product person or engineer, but it's hard to be a business person and a product developer and a marketer and all of it. So it takes a team to make a business successful, and that's where we want to make sure the resources are available and everyone knows about them.
Absolutely. Well, as we're wrapping things up here, are there any final thoughts that you would like to share, Brian?
I think it's not easy for me to sit here and talk about business. I like to think I'm a little more humble than that. The opportunity to say to other people out there, bring your idea in to Area 59, to Fuel, to Susan Yerke at the Business Development Center. Talk to someone. Bring that idea forward, because that's how we're going to change our economy. That's how we're going to change Gillette. It was going to be a different economy before COVID, and it'll be a dramatically different economy after COVID. And we have to be willing to take chances and take risks and put ourselves out there a little more.
Absolutely. Dana, final thoughts?
Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more of these podcasts, as well as opportunities to network and get together with other entrepreneurs. The college has Startup Weekend once a year. We're looking at other ideas of maybe pitch nights, different things like that, that people are just going to feel welcome to come and hear what else is going on in the community. And that enthusiasm is contagious. The more we hear about other people being successful, encourages more people to step up and want to take that risk as well. And the more that we can help minimize that risk and offer resources and assistance, the more successful our community is going to be as well.
And where this goes next is more events, more opportunities to share, like in this message today, and also figuring out just making that connection with the COVID virus caused problems where the social distancing led to physical distancing. We weren't able to connect with people physically, have those one-on-one conversations, get into groups, and be able to help each other in the ways that so many people have needed. And as we go forward, as things are looking to the future and the dramatic changes we're going to see in our economy going forward, we want to make sure there's a place where we can all get together and that there is a team of people who is helping to lead that conversation and give you all a place to come with your ideas, whether it's an invention, just playing with some machinery to learn how to make a certain technique, or whether it's a business idea, and we want to be able to be a part of leading that forward. And so thank you for your time, and we look forward to the next message.
Thank you.